Okay. So in the Yoga Sutra, you could spend a lifetime studying the Yoga Sutra. And I think it's nice to kind of just pick it up every once in a while and just randomly open the book and see what shows up for you. And then you can also have kind of a more discernment where you're really studying the sutra. And the more I study it, the more I feel like there's just vastness that is to be explored, both in mostly experientially, that you can read something, but reading about something and experiencing something are not always the same. They're never the same. And so, what I encourage you, if you're going to pick up the sutra, to read it, but then try to experience whatever it is that you just read about, so that it doesn't end up being this theoretical thing, but really a experiential thing. And then you start to really understand and know. So I'm going to read you a few things. This is book two of the Yoga Sutra, and this is Sutra 2.16. Pain that has not yet come is avoidable. Isn't that awesome? Pain that has not yet come is avoidable. And we might think, there's so many ways you could analyze that statement, but really what he's talking about is that we have pain because we have a confusion around what is real. And this is just a little quote in here. Ignorance is regarding the impermanent as permanent, the impure as pure, the painful as pleasant, and the non-self as the self. And when we have any aspect of this ignorance of the truth of who we are, it can cause us suffering when we attach ourselves to this. And it goes along, and now Sutra 2.26. This one says, uninterrupted discriminative, I'm sorry, I'm not speaking very well today. Discernment is the method of its removal, of the removal of that confusion. So when we have discernment, clear discernment, this is called viveka in yoga, and the capacity to really understand and see things clearly only comes through experience. That we can't just think this, right? We have to experience this. And the more we have practices that clear our minds and our bodies, the more we are capable of seeing truth. So, if you think about the noble truths of Buddhism, one of them is Nirodha, which is this denouncing of craving and denouncing of desire. And a lot of times our attachment onto things is what clouds our discernment, that doesn't allow us to see things clearly. So Viveka is shifting your awareness from that which you're perceiving to perception itself, if that's an easier way of thinking about it. And then here, I'm going to read just one little other bit of it. So the practice of Viveka includes recollecting the truth behind appearances, searching for that which is changeless in that which changes. It is also learning to confront pain in a new way. When disturbed by negative emotions or physical pain, we can ask ourselves who or what is that feels pain? Is it me or is it my lower back? Am I sad or is it just my mind? And this kind of analysis refines your discernment or your viveka. So in Irish culture, I don't know the term, the expression in Gaelic, but basically when you're sad, people don't say I'm sad. They say sadness is upon me. So to kind of separate yourself, the truth of who you are from the emotion that you're experiencing or the physical sensation that you're experiencing, discerning the difference between the two is one of the great ways that we can prevent the pain that is yet to come. So when it comes to pain, this leads me to the niyamas. The third niyama, so far we've talked about saucha, cleanliness, purity of mind and body, and then yesterday we did a little work on santosha, which is contentment. The third is tapas. And I've always in the past, when you have practiced with me, the quote I love about this is that tapas is the willingness to endure strong sensation in the service of transformation. So we can think of pain as strong sensation, and we can think of suffering, any kind of suffering of the mind in particular, but of course of the body too, that it's inevitable, that we need to recognize and accept that pain is just a part of our life, and that if we don't try to push away, if we can just allow things to move through us and not crave or desire something different. And we can recognize using this discernment, this viveka, if we can recognize that we are not the pain, that sadness is upon me, but it's not who I am, that tapas becomes easier, that we can have more capacity, more strength and will to endure strong sensation in the service of transformation, because that transformation is us trying not to have the pain that's avoidable. Um, so we have to sometimes experience discomfort and challenge in order to get there. So, how do we do this? We do this through prayer, through meditation, through asana practice, through breath work, through all the ways that we tried to discern truthfulness. And that, it gets more and more challenging in our times that we are living in now to really know truth, to experience truth. So the more we can develop that capacity within ourselves to recognize truth intuitively, to see clearly, to not get caught by what we want to happen, desire, aversion, then we are so much better off. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but this is what the sutra makes me do. When I read it, you can ramble inside your head and really get lost in a lot of these thoughts, which is why I encourage you when something touches you. So maybe just one little thing of what I said made sense to you or touched you, and bring that into practice. So whatever you kind of inspires you or touches you about the Yoga Sutra, take that nugget and bring it inward to yourself and work on it in your experiences. So let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall. And let your practice be a tool for discernment where we can recognize where we are avoiding or where we are craving. We can recognize our true self instead of attaching ourselves to the ego or the things around us, but really to let all of that slough away so that the true self and the connection of all things is what we find underneath. So close your eyes and drop into your breath and see if you can steady your breathing. So if we're going to work with tapas, this willingness, the willingness to endure strong sensation, to commit ourselves to something that might be uncomfortable, challenging, or painful in the pursuit of change within ourselves, to find this truth within ourselves. So, what are you willing to touch up against that's difficult for you? And when you do sit with something uncomfortable, does it transform you? Are you willing to touch the things that are difficult so that you can have some self-transformation? Avoid further pain. Just deal with the subtle, subtle uncomfortableness of this moment to avoid further pain. So find your breath. Relax your shoulders. Come into the body. And perhaps your tapas, this energy of staying through challenge, is just the simple act of holding good posture right now. As you're sitting here, maybe some pain is coming upon you in your body. Maybe you're feeling the challenge in your back from sitting up straight, or Maybe it's difficult to stay the mind in the body and breath, and you're meeting a challenge. See if you can relax into it. Let your body soften a bit. All right, and then we're going to begin our practice with just some seated cat-cows here. So rounding the spine, arching the back, and just kind of going back and forth between some movement of extension and some movement of flexion, letting the breath move. Lift your head, let the whole spine, including your head and your tail, find this movement of breath. Rounding the shoulder blades, drawing the shoulder blades toward the spine. And then find a neutral spine, and we'll shrug our shoulders up. Do some rolling here in our shoulders. And then rolling our shoulders the other way. And then a simple tipping back with one arm, touch the ground, come back, lift the other arm, touch the ground. Kind of like you're doing a little bit of a backstroke. Touch the ground. Make sure you're breathing. All right, and then pause there for a moment and just notice a little bit of prana starting to move in your body. Are you just slightly more aware, awake in the body? We're going to create a pathway of some breaths. So we're going to start this breath work with some box breathing. I'm going to guide you through it with holding the breath. So we're going to inhale, hold, exhale, hold for a 4 count. And then after a couple of rounds of that, we're going to increase the 4 count to a 5 count for the exhale and the hold after the exhale, and then to a 6 count for the exhale and the hold after the exhale. So we're going to progressively lengthen our exhales and the hold after the exhales. So we'll get to 6. We'll do 6 a couple of times, and then we'll backtrack back to 5 and then back to 4, just to give you a framework so you know where we're going. So find a comfortable seat. And this can be challenging. So allow yourself to just be in the presence of the challenge. Try not to give up, okay, even if it becomes hard. And try when you're breathing, especially when it gets more challenging, where you don't do this. And pull yourself up on the in-breath. See, in the moment that you feel like you need to take a large inhale, which will happen, try to expand your whole rib cage. Try not to just pull upward. Okay. All right. So find a comfortable seat, relax your shoulders, and soften your face. And we'll just take a cleansing breath in and a cleansing breath out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Enjoy taking your breath off its leash. You don't have to hold. Just feel the fullness of your breath in, the fullness of your breath out. Notice any sensing of concentration, awareness that's come. Let's bring our hands together at our heart and offer an intention for your practice. Release your hands. Let's find our way onto our back. So, you might think of tapas as doing hard things, where we can do hard things, which of course we can do hard things. Um, a lot of times when I do a tapas yoga practice, we hold asanas a long time and kind of learn to live with that discomfort of a shake, okay, or a desire to get out of a pose. All right, let's stretch our arms overhead and enjoy. So that's one way to kind of investigate some tapas in your practice. Another way to investigate tapas in your practice is to choose some poses you don't like, to kind of walk towards something that's uncomfortable for you instead of hiding or running away from it. When you're ready, bring your knees into your chest, rock a little bit, swaying. A third way is to do something unfamiliar, where you're uncomfortable, stepping outside your comfort zone. Let's open up our knees away from the midline. And then yet another way of having the practice, tapas practice, show up in your asana practice is to try your best to stay so focused on what you're doing. Let the practice of tapas really be a practice of the mind, where we train ourselves to stay even when our minds want to go somewhere else. And this can be uncomfortable, but the more we have, so hug that knee in and move your feet around, the more we have these skills, all of those skills kind of developing within us, the more we're able to see clearly. All right, let's switch sides. Left knee in, right leg long on the ground. Feel free to roll around in the ankles and wiggle through your toes. Rest your head and relax. And then reach outward, stretch to a star. Expand. Let's roll your wrists and roll your ankles, wiggling your fingers and your toes, and stretch and lengthen. And then exhale and draw your knees in. Pick up your head, a snug hug. And repeat that twice more, where we inhale to open up wide, and then exhale to draw our knees in. Stay with that beautiful breath that you've cultivated. One more time, expanding open, and then exhale, drawing in. Put your feet down, arms out to the side, windshield wiper your knees. So see if you can stay with some of those aspects that I just talked about, so that you can notice what your mind is doing, what your mind and body are doing. Also try to pay attention. So roll all the way to your left side, palms together, and let's roll open to a twist and pause there and let your chest stretch open and breathe. Pay attention also to how these niyamas really touch each other. The saucha, purity of mind and body, and santosha, sense of contentment, and tapas, the willingness to endure strong sensation to transform ourselves. How all of these really intermingle with each other. Let's roll to the other side. Palms together and open up into a twist on this side. Stretch your chest, turn your head, and breathe. Okay, and then stretch out onto a star again, reaching your limbs wide. Draw your knees in and roll to your side. Come up to your hands and your knees. Maybe some tapas shows up, arching your back, rounding your spine here, cat cows. And, if you're taking a walk, going that extra distance. Maybe if you're lifting weights, kind of trying a couple of more repetitions or a little extra weight, kind of challenging yourself to go right to your edge and maybe a little bit beyond what you think you're capable of. After moving through some cat-cows, let's move around in your spine. Maybe that being able to endure a strong sensation shows up in your relationships. Maybe you're honing your listening skills beyond what you're comfortable with. Maybe you're willing to have the hard conversations and speak truth. All right, and then drop back towards child's pose. Walk those hands far out in front of you. Lengthen through your spine and breathe. Maybe tapas shows up as simply finishing a task at work, something you've been avoiding, something that you're either craving something different or avoiding something, but turning towards it instead, so that you can finish a task that's been hanging on you. Walk the hands over to the other side. Maybe it's facing an uncomfortable truth. Okay, so allow yourself to trust that you're strong enough to endure strong sensation of mind or body in the service of transformation. Back up onto all fours. Let's find our twist. Reach that arm up. Exhale and drop your shoulder under and twist your spine. Breathing deeply. Inhale, reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down, switching sides, arm up. Exhale, dropping the shoulder. A full breath in, a full exhale. Relax your head. All right, and then inhale, reach that arm all the way up in the air. Hand down onto the ground, and let's lift to a dog pose. Take a little time here, pedaling your feet, getting to know, warming your body, moving your hips around. Root down to rise. Full breaths. Let's just stay here a little longer than we normally do. Maybe there's a little discomfort arriving. See if you can stay present with the breath, relaxing your head, feeling the fullness of your inhale and the fullness of your exhale. And you might notice that discomfort shows up maybe physically, maybe your arms are getting a little tired or something is a little strained, or maybe it's emotionally, mentally, where you're like, all right, I'm done with this pose. I'm a little bored of this pose. I want to move on. So notice where discomfort arises. Is it mentally? Is it physically? Is it emotionally? Knowing the origins of our discomfort allows us to broaden and widen into our awareness. Okay, walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, the forward fold. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Exhale, melting back down. Relax your skull. Inhale for a halfway lift again, opening up the backs of the legs. Exhale and release. Push through your feet, rising up, bringing the arms to the sky. Open chest, lean back a little bit. Let's cactus open our heart and expand. Lift the chest high. And reach those arms back up in the air. Extend. Exhale, floating forward. A halfway lift, opening up through your heart. Exhale, melting again. Step back to a dog pose. Feel that extension in your body and breathe. A deep inhale, a full exhale. Come forward into a plank. Push the ground away. Shoulder blades down the back. Knowing the difference between pain that can be endured to transform you for the better and pain that should be avoided because it's hurting you. Okay, so this is part of that discernment. Push the ground away. See if you can stay here for just a little bit longer. All four corners of your hands are rooting down. Feel the strength of your legs help you and support you. Keep moving your shoulder blades down. Breathe deeply. All right, we'll put our knees down onto the ground. Roll your shoulders. When you're ready, a cobra. Open chest. Exhale. Surrender. One more time. Rising up, feel the full spine. Exhale and release down. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine around. Let's bring our right foot forward. Come to a lunge. Keep your back knee down for a moment and just find that full lunge, stretching through your hip flexors. And then we'll lift our back knee up off the ground. Root down, start to bend and straighten your knee so we're warming that part of our body. All right, ground yourself. Push through your feet. Inhale, rising up, crescent lunge, opening up your heart. We'll reach those arms back behind you. Lower your torso down, triceps engage. Feel the back body, lift your core. Ribs are floating up away from your leg. And we'll release our hands down and come to a half splits here. Extending through your spine, squaring your pelvis. Deep breath in, squat down. One-legged squat. Drop your head. Push slowly into a straight leg variation, both legs. Exhale, squat down. Inhale, pushing straight. Exhale, dropping in, lengthening again. Feel that extension. Step all the way back, crescent lunge one more time, reaching the arms up, look up, challenge your balance. Release your hands down, back foot comes forward, fold deeply. A halfway lift, opening up through your heart. Exhale, melting again. Step your other foot back, knee comes down onto the ground. Okay, left foot's in front now. Feel the hip flexor stretch on that right leg. Enjoy opening up your legs in this way. And then when we're ready, we'll lift the back knee up off the ground. Root down. Start to move, squaring the hips. Feeling the fullness of your breath as you bend and straighten your knee. Remember the tapas of the mind, staying present with what you're doing. That's enough. If you manage to make it through a whole yoga practice without letting your mind stray, bravo. Right? So this is a lot of challenge for us to keep our mind present. Ground yourself, root down, come on up. Reaching the arms upward to the sky, lift and open the heart. Expand, maybe look up so that you challenge your balance a little bit more. Breathing deeply. And then we'll come forward with our torso, arms back, triceps engaged. Lift your arms a little higher than your back, ribs knit in. Press your legs, reach your crown. We'll bring our hands down onto the blocks and come to half splits this side. Square hips, reach that leg in the air. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, Jiva squat, drop in. Push through your legs, straighten out. Exhale, soften in. Lengthen one more time again. Step back, have faith that the ground is there. Inhale, reach the arms up again. And then we'll bring our hands down, come back to a dog. Feel that extension, root and rise. Discover your breath. A full breath in, a long breath out. Train your mind to stay here. Okay, come forward into a plank. Push the ground away. Find your strength. We're going to bear our weight into our right hand. Take your right foot and slide it underneath your left so that you're lying on the outside edge of your right foot. Weight into the right arm, lift your left arm up to the sky. Find your breath. Stay present with what you're experiencing. Bring that hand down, bring that foot back to a dog pose. We'll slide our right leg under, take the outer foot onto the ground, tip into a side plank. Right hand on the ground, left hand to the sky. Shoulder blades down the back, find your breath. Come back to center, back to a dog. We'll come forward into a plank, push the ground away. Lower yourself down to the ground. Roll the shoulders, find a back bend, cobra if you'd like. Exhale and release. Come back to a child's pose. And while you're here, roll your wrists around. Give your hands a little bit of movement, freeing them from that arm balancing. Come up onto your shins. Bring your hands to your pelvis and lift up to a variation of camel. We're going to go a little deeper in this, but first, just start with your hands on your hips and lift your chest. Try to keep your hips over your knees. We're not pressing our pelvis forward. We're not leaning back. Okay. Curl your toes under. Reach back with your right hand to grab your right heel and lift the left arm up in the air. Find your breath. Come back, switching sides. You can always put your hand on a block. If your heel is too low, reaching your arm up, try to keep your hips from moving back. We want our hips over our knees. Reach into your hand. Come back to center. Come back into a child's pose. Open up your spine. Bring your forearms onto the ground and lift to a dolphin pose. Hips high. Find your breath. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. And then let's challenge ourselves with the forearm plank. Walk your feet back, walk your hands forward if you need to. Just get into that plank position on your forearms. Shoulders away from the ears, integrate your core. Now you can put your left knee down if you'd like, or keep both knees up. And we're going to inhale to a side plank here on our forearm. Exhale back down. Switching sides, your right knee can come down if you need. Come on up. Exhale. Come on down. All right, put your knees down for sure and stretch back to a child's pose. Find your breath. Stay present with your practice. Stay present with your body. Stay present with your breathing. Curl the toes under and lift to a dog. Feel that pedaling and extension if you'd like. And then we'll walk our feet forward and come to Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale. Melting down. Push through the feet, rising up, bringing the arms to the sky. And then trace down through the center of your body. And pause. And just notice we've done some unusual poses. We've done some challenging poses. So just notice the energy moving through your body. Notice whatever level of concentration you are developing within you. See if you can stay present with the breath. And then take your legs wide on your mat to turn sideways. Our practice is a refuge for us, and it's also strength building. And I don't just mean your muscles, but our capacity to concentrate, come into Virabhadrasana 2. Our capacity to stay present, fully present in the body. This is part of that tapas. We develop capacity to stay when things get uncomfortable. Think about all of the uncomfortable things that you have to stay present through in your life. So our practice is just that. It's just practicing for the big stuff. Drop your shoulders. Find your breath. Soften your gaze in some way. Relax. Okay, try not to have overburden in this pose. And if you're getting tired with your arms, don't drop them down just because you're tired. If you're in pain, like a joint is bothering you, listen. Of course, listen to the red flags in your body. But if they're just beige flags and there's nothing, if just a little effort is upon you, then that's okay. See what it feels like if you just stayed. Know where red flags live and don't ignore them. Breathing deeply, full inhale, full exhale. What gets tired first, your arms or your legs? Know your body. And we'll reverse the warrior, extend, straighten your leg for a moment, and then we'll bend again and come into a Parsva Konasana. The same thing applies. If you have red flags in your body, listen, adjust, modify anything. But for today, maybe challenge yourself to go a little deeper into your pose and see if you're self-sustaining in that. See if you can challenge yourself to stay inside your breath, to reach for the ground and reach for the wall next to you. Find that full extension. Can you keep your mind right here? The willingness to endure a strong sensation in the service of transformation. That which we stress a bit gets stronger. Okay? Doesn't mean you overstress, but that good, healthy stress in the mind and in the body. Let's go ahead and straighten up, and we'll turn and do the same poses to the other side. So turning your legs to the left as we come into Virabhadrasana. Bring your arms out. Adjust anything that needs adjusting for your body to feel safe. No red flags. Let your body feel strong. Maybe get to a place where you're fatigued, but we stay present with our mind and our body. The mind is usually the hardest part, okay? If you can train your mind, your body sometimes can be a little easier. Training your body for strength is pretty standard stuff, right? But training the mind for strength is much more challenging. Relax the shoulders, round into your legs, keep your body breathing. A full inhale, a long exhale. Reach the arm up in the air. Feel that extension. Stay in the squat. Straighten your leg just for a moment, and then we'll come into a Parsva Konasana. Drop in. Maybe sink a little lower than you usually do in your lunge. Maybe drop the shoulders a little bit more. Rest your hands, softness in your palms. Reach through your fingers, reach through your heel. Discover your breath. Melt the base of your skull. Be in the pose. If your body's shaking, it's just your body shaking. No big deal. Turn your feet forward. Okay. Heel toe your feet all the way in so that you're still pointing sideways on your mat, but just give your legs a chance to come back to neutral territory. Pause for a moment and breathe. Okay. Take your feet wide again. Turn your toes out. We'll find the standing star. And then I'm going to exhale and come down into a squat. Now I'll give your mind a tool. We're going to be here for 1 minute. Okay, so that's a tool. You can have boundaries around your capacity to hold something. Sometimes that's a mind tool. So drop your sit bones to whatever place is good for you in your squat. Lift your chest, breathing deeply. Okay. Relax the shoulders. Open the heart. Drop some weight into the four corners of your feet. Sink a little lower. You can do it. Sink just a little bit lower. It might be a fraction. Open the knees up and lift the heart. Find your breath. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. Drop a little deeper. You can do anything for 10 seconds. Drop a little deeper. Lift the heart. Now reach your arms up. Feel that extension. Open the heart one more time. And we'll come all the way to stand. Standing star. Let the prana move through you. Okay, turn your feet straight and release down into a Pasrita. Relax your head. Deepen through your breathing. And then turn back to the front of your mat and come to a dog pose. Take a little time, ground yourself. Enjoy the fact that your legs are closer. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. Keep your body mind here. Okay, we'll come forward into a plank. Shoulders away from the ears. Full breaths. Ground yourself. All right, we'll find the ground. Take your arms and your legs and everything comes out and up. Release your head on your hands and lift up your feet. We're going to roll to our left side and grab your right foot, stretching through your quad. Finding your way onto your side, tail long, heel close toward your buttocks. Try not to lift your knee. Keep your knee in line with your hip. And notice, when you do something challenging, like the last couple of poses, and then you come to something that has a little more surrender, is the surrender sweeter? Do you recognize it a little bit more? And then come rolling over to the other side. Grab onto that foot, stretching your quad. All right, now before we kind of move our way towards Shavasana, think about a pose that you don't like. And so for whatever reason, maybe it's a stretch that your body's like, oh, I just can't do this very well. Maybe it's a balance pose that you're like, I always fall apart. So I want you to take your time right now to just do any pose at all that you avoid, that when you do it in class, when we teach, when I teach it, or when you go to another class and you're like, oh, I gotta do that pose I don't like. Find that pose and do it now. All right, so take a moment, and your pose could be literally sitting still. It could be just sitting. That might be the pose that's really hard for you. Or it could be something more vigorous. So just find whatever it is. If it's two-sided pose, make sure you do both sides. Take your time with this. Breathe your way wherever you are. Breathe your way there. I wish I could see you all so I could see what poses, kind of get an insight into what's challenging for you. Don't turn on your screen just because I said that, but just allow yourself to be in the presence of your posture. What's hard about it? Why do you avoid this? What is the aversion? And can you move toward it instead of away from it? This is part of tapas, moving toward that which we avoid, moving away from that which we crave. Make sure you do both sides. All right. Find your way down onto the ground. Okay. And as we prepare for Shavasana, everybody needs different things. Maybe you need to be on your back with a happy baby pose. Maybe you need a reverse pigeon pose. Maybe you need a twist. Whatever your body is asking for, that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so listen to the ask in the body and follow. If there's two sides, make sure you do both. How's your breath? All right, and then take your time. If you're still doing some poses, just keep going until your body's like, yep, I'm done and I'm ready for Shavasana. And whenever you're ready to relax on the ground, take your time to find it. And you might be needing some warmth or some props to support you. So just kind of find what's needed and bring yourself into your breath. Keep your mind right here. Enjoy your breathing and enjoy the way your body feels at rest. Begin to deepen your breathing. Stretch and move in any way that helps you, supports you. We're going to find our way to a comfortable seat. Take a moment to offer the gifts of your practice, your embodiment, your will, your energy, this energy of tapas. Can we offer that strength outward? Namaste. Thank you, everyone.